Now for what's trending in true crime, jurors in the subway chokehold case are resuming deliberations this morning after still not being able to arrive at a verdict. Daniel Penny is accused of killing 30-year-old Jordan Neely after putting him in a chokehold on a crowded New York subway. Neely, at the time, was suffering from schizophrenia and was high on drugs and was shouting death threats at passengers, and that is when Penny intervened. Now, on Wednesday, the jury asked to see 3 different pieces of evidence again. They wanted to see the Vasquez video, it's called, which shows what happened on the train that day, the full video they wanted to see. They also wanted to see a compilation of police body camera videos, as well as video of Daniel Penny's NYPD interrogation. What do you think about those pieces of evidence that they wanted to revisit? What might they be stuck on? Here to discuss. Let's bring in our power panel, retired NYPD detective and professor Mike Alk, criminal defense and civil attorney John Phillips, or homicide prosecutor Randolph. It's a great to see you all this morning. Ooh, let's read the tea leaves a bit. Randolph Rice, would you start us off, please? What are you thinking?
I love if I'm his defense team. I think this is a great sign. They're asking these questions. They're looking at more evidence, looking at the evidence again to determine if he was justified in his actions. And I think they've also got questions about, did he actually cause the death? Remember, that was one of the issues that was raised, was Penny the cause of the death, or were there other factors like the substances that were in his system at the time? Right.
Great points. John Phillips, let me go to you next. Where's your attorney mind going as you hear these questions, the jury, to see those pieces of evidence again?
A lot of things. So there's certainly the comorbidities, the whether drugs have an effect on the death. And I think the doctor said that even if there was like a reference elephant, had enough to put down an elephant, that they wouldn't have caused his death, that it was the chokehold. I think that was an overstatement, but we're dealing with the issue of kind of the polarization of jurors in this society, where some are kind of the reptile that want to protect, themselves and fear this kind of attack, and then others address homelessness and houselessness and the mentally ill, and want to, maybe not use so much force as you can. So it's a conflict.
Right. You're all making great points. Detective Mike Alcazar, last but certainly not least here. What are you thinking, please?
Well, as a New Yorker, I put myself in that situation. I'm sure many of the jurors do so, because in the they've seen homeless people, they've seen the mentally ill doing crazy things on the subway. So maybe they're reviewing all the information to see, as your previous guest said, that maybe there is some kind of justification. Maybe he took action because maybe there was the lack of police presence, which Taylor on New York City administration. So these are the things that came up in my head as a New Yorker.
Right, and appreciate that context, Detective. It's scary on the New York subways, isn't it? Really, really scary stuff, and so that context is key. And fortunately, this jury, I'm sure, will be very familiar with the subways and the encounters that can happen on a daily basis in a big city like that. Let's turn to another aspect of this case. We know that Jordan Neely's family has also just filed a civil lawsuit against Daniel Penny, accusing him of negligent contact, assault and battery, causing injuries that ultimately led to his death. Let's take a listen to how Daniel Penny calls the incident.
We were all scared. Mr. Neely was yelling in these passengers' faces. They looked terrified. The reason why there was no video at the start of the because people were too afraid getting away from him. I knew I had to act, and I acted in a way that would protect the other passengers, protect myself, and protect Mr. Neely. I used this hold to restrain him.
So we're asking this next question. Even if Penny is acquitted, I'm just saying this just for the sake of our analysis today, let's say this is an acquittal. This criminal trial perhaps just the first hurdle for Danny in his legal process. Phillips, let me start, please.
Julie, I do this every week. So the 3 out of the last 5 weeks, I've been in a criminal trial where I was filing a civil lawsuit. And, you know, justice is, it's defined by criminal justice and civil justice, and sometimes the court of public opinion and legal change. I do suspect that there will be, you know, this story to be told under an entirely different standard, because we just have the preponderance, you know, just a tiny little bit more of the evidence that there was a wrongful death or assault or, you know, what the core issue is.
This is really helpful, John. This is a teachable moment, really, for everyone who wonders about this type of thing where two decisions can result from the same incident. The disposition of the criminal case often dictates what happens next in the civil case. Randolph, would you take it from here? Let's see as it happens. Let's say it's conviction for Daniel Penny. What might the civil situation look like then?
Yeah, I think the civil situation really takes a back seat to this. But I got to tell you, if I was the family of the victim here, I would have held off. I don't typically like to advise clients to file civil suits while criminal proceedings are going on. I think that can often take the situation. Now, you know, the jurors are not supposed to take into consideration factors outside of what evidence they've been presented. But let's say they get a whiff of that they're seeking some sort of monetary, may sway them to say, wait a second, is this just a money grab? And is the prosecutor sort of in the same boat as that we're sort of reaching here? So I don't like when we do that. Look, he gets criminal conviction. At the end of the day, what's a civil judgment against him, a money judgment against him really going to matter?
I appreciate it, Randolph. Mike Alcazar, final quick thoughts on this case in New York City. Does it have everybody talking? Is this one that people have really just seem to be taking opposing positions, and there's a lot of polarization with it?
Oh yeah, this is definitely polarizing. All my friends in New York are talking about this daily because it's something that we experience, you know, going to work, riding the subway. It's an issue of like safety and protecting ourselves and police presence. So that's why I think the jury's kind of like taking their time trying to figure this out, because they want what's best for the case, they want what's best for the family, they want what's best for the defendant and what's best for New York. So it's definitely a very challenging case to decide.
Right. I love how you said that, what's best for New York, because really this is going to set the tone for what happens going forward. People could be afraid to intervene for fear of a criminal case or a civil lawsuit coming at them. We've got to leave it there for now, but great discussion with you all. We've got to say goodbye, and thank you to Detective Mike Alcazar for everything this morning. Thank you for your time and expertise.